How's it going, guys? It's Pride here, back with part 9 of What If the Earthlings Were Strong. Last time, we left off with checking up on the Z Warriors that remained on Earth and seeing how far they have progressed. Some of them were honing their own skills and elevating the core of their martial arts to higher levels, while others were mastering the energy within in order to perform new transformations and variants of these transformations to get stronger in their own unique way. But all of them were breaking their limits over and over again. However, as the months went on, their progression had started to stagnate, and the person that was feeling this the most was Krillin. And as he was pondering this and trying to figure out what to do, an opponent appeared before him and attacked him out of nowhere. But the craziest part of it all was this person was calling him a villain. So Krillin is now in this strange encounter, not really sure what to make of it, but now faced with this unknown opponent who seems determined to take him down. This could be exactly what Krillin needed to break past his bottleneck, and maybe this will allow him to catch up with those like Yamcha and even Tien. Let's see how far Krillin is able to go. Krillin is looking at this stranger and is wondering what is going on. He's been attacked out of nowhere and is also being accused of being a villain. But the most offensive thing so far is that he has been deemed to be only a grunt, insinuating that whatever criminal order that this person expects Krillin to be a part of, that he's not even an important part of this criminal order. He's just affiliated with them. And this kind of ticks Krillin off, but he doesn't let it get to him as he focuses up and realizes that there is a true danger here. That blast was pretty powerful. He hasn't really seen anything like it. So he takes a closer look at his opponent and can immediately spot the red ribbon army insignia on Gamma's 2's arm, and immediately able to piece all the information that he got from being with the police force. Krillin asks, "So, you're part of the Red Ribbon Army, huh? I'm going to assume that Dr. Hedo made you, seeing how he seems to really like making androids." Gamma 2 is put off by this. He didn't think that anyone could catch on so fast. This does make Gamma 2 become a lot more serious, as he responds with, "How did you even figure that out? That's it. You have to be taken care of. This was supposed to be a test run, but now I can't let you leave. You have too much information." And now Gamma 2 rushes forth and the fight begins. Krillin is defending himself to the best of his abilities. He even has to unleash Kaioken, at least on the first level, as Gamma 2 is actually taking this quite seriously and is not really holding back. Obviously not going all out though, which as the fight progresses causes both the fighters to be a little confused. One, for Krillin is confused on how strong Dr. Hedo has made his latest invention, seeing how the last ones that he's fought weren't nearly as strong as this, already giving Krillin a hard time. Making Krillin already transitioned into his second stage, the clarity stage of his new technique. And Gamma's also confused because all the data that reports about how strong Krillin should be is completely wrong. So far, Krillin should have already been dealt with in the first couple of clashes, but they've been going on for a minute now. And even though Gamma 2 is not having too much of a problem, he's still irked that he can't finish the weaker of his opponents off quickly, making him worry a little bit at how strong the actual villains are. As the fight goes on, Krillin is learning more and more about how Gamma 2 fights. And being a master of martial arts, he is leading Gamma 2 on, thus making Gamma 2 fall for simple tricks that most masters wouldn't fall for, like an opening that seems too obvious and yet Gamma 2 still goes for it, which allows Krillin to counterattack and land the first real clean hit of this entire fight, which shocks Gamma 2 even more, with Krillin saying, "I guess you're still new to this. Any real master would have known that I was a fake." Gamma 2 responding, "Huh, lesson learned. That won't happen again," as Gamma 2 rushes back at Krillin. And the fight is now going a lot differently as Krillin is realizing that his moves are being read more and more. And even though Krillin is not being pushed back too hard, he does notice that all of his attacks are being nullified as he's making them, even down to his key attacks where he does Kamehameha and Destructo Disc. Gamma 2 always has a solution for that, either taking out a Kamehameha with his gun or straight up using an energy shield to nullify the Destructo Disc. Krillin even tries to use the Solar Flare, but apparently that doesn't work on Gamma 2 either. So he uses technology to shield his eyes. Krillin notices this and goes for his stronger version of Solar Flare, which should bypass all shielding and affect the ki as well. But that's also not very effective as Gamma 2 doesn't even use ki to sense people. It's a lot of technology that he has allows him to see regardless. It's almost like Gamma 2 was made purposely to fight the Z Warriors and all of their known battle tactics. Krillin is starting to get pushed more and more, especially in hand-to-hand combat, and he's actually having to use Kaioken ×5 as Gamma 2 has gotten a lot more serious. Krillin is still using his clarity stage, but he's also realizing there is somehow a limit to this, as Gamma 2 has completely downloaded Krillin's fighting style, and with basically having a supercomputer for a brain, is able to map out multiple simulations for how Krillin will respond and is able to effectively counter Krillin completely. Krillin doesn't know what's going on. It seems like Dr. Hedo has made a machine that is able to beat martial arts and experience, though he doesn't know how exactly this was possible. And if Dr. Hedo has done this with this machine, how many more does he have? Krillin is now thinking of a different strategy, as if he goes all out and maximize on his Kaioken, he thinks he has a good chance of winning. But as things stand, even if he does win, it wouldn't really give him more answers, as he has no way to permanently subdue Gamma 2, and Gamma 2 definitely wouldn't give Krillin any information. So Krillin is now trying to hatch up a plan in order to find out more about the whereabouts of Dr. Hedo. With this in mind, and the fact that he's being countered quite effectively, he decides to give into it a little bit and is allowing more and more attacks to hit him. Though he is making it look like he is trying his best, he's using his fighting experience to minimize the damage that he has taken, that he's allowing to hit him. Gamma 2, sensing that this fight is about to be over, knocks Krillin away and then unleashes his strongest charge, Gamma Blaster, that he has done so far, turning the blaster into a Gamma Beam as it shoots forth and hits Krillin before he has a chance to properly defend himself. After it hits, a large explosion and smoke gathers around Krillin, making it very hard to see, and Gamma 2 is scanning the entire area until the smoke disperses and he doesn't see anything. And he's thinking, gotta report back on this. That took a lot more than I expected to get rid of just a grunt. It's a good thing Dr. Hedo is working on more. We might need it for the big gun. Me and Gamma 1 might not be enough, especially for the Demon King Piccolo. And with that, Gamma 2 flies away back to the headquarters of the Red Ribbon Army. But unbeknownst to Gamma 2, Krillin is flying along, as he has minimized himself using spirit control and instant transmission behind Gamma 2 to get right under Gamma 2's cloak, in a pretty perfect hiding spot that no one will be able to see him in as long as Gamma 2 is wearing his cloak. And Krillin has successfully completed the first step of his plan. He is now going to be able to find out where Dr. Hedo is at in their secret lair, and also find out more of what's going to happen, while also using telepathy to let Gohan know just in case Krillin needs backup, with Gohan staying in constant contact with Krillin and looking at Trunks and Goten, telling them that they might have to show off what they have learned so far in their training very soon, which obviously gets the boys hyped. Back to Krillin. Krillin has some free time now, which also gives him a lot to think about. First, he meditates over a solution to someone countering him in his own stage of clarity, and his opponents being better at reading him than he is at them, regardless of their means. As Krillin is meditating on this, he realized that the reason that Gamma 2 was able to counter him so effectively is because he broke down the core of Krillin's fighting style, which is the Turtle School fighting style, meaning that he was able to pick up on all of the techniques and variants of those techniques that Krillin specifically likes to use, and was able to counter Krillin far faster than Krillin can counter his opponent, especially seeing how their opponent completely changed their fighting style to be the polar opposite of Krillin. Even though Gamma 2 was cheating in a way, Krillin knows that when it comes to a fight, the end results doesn't matter, meaning that he should just learn from this experience instead of dwelling on the fact that the Turtle School fighting style is now obsolete. True master of martial arts always finds a way, regardless of what's presented in front of them. So Krillin is thinking back to his lessons that he has learned from Master Roshi, and even his recent fight from Gamma 2. And he's coming to a realization that if one form doesn't work, then he should try another. With all his years of experience, Krillin knows that he has seen so many different fighting styles that are unique to their own and has their own effectiveness. With this in mind, he's able to figure out that the first stage of selflessness and the second stage of clarity, he might be reaching the third stage, which hopefully in his next coming battle with Gamma 2 can put it to practice. And on the rest of the flight, in order to perfect and have stage 3 ready, he is thinking of all the fights that he's ever been in, of all the opponents he has ever faced, of all the allies that he has seen. He is memorizing, and he is ingraining it into himself as he's getting prepared for his second round with Gamma 2, which won't be much longer, as they have now arrived at the Red Ribbon Army headquarters. And that is where we're going to end it, with Krillin having fought off against Gamma 2, and Krillin learned a very valuable lesson that there is more ways than one to understand and fight your opponent. But there are also, as he has come to realize, more ways than one to trick your opponent and have them unprepared for what you're about to do next. Now at the Red Ribbon Army, Krillin's about to find out exactly what Dr. Hedo and whoever he's aligned with are going to do and are planning against the other Z warriors that are on the planet, and even those that are not on the planet. And Gohan is waiting for the call, having already prepped Goten and Trunks. Both sides don't know exactly who's going to be in this final fight, but both sides do know that time is of the essence, for their respective opponents are stronger than they realize. And this final fight might be the hardest that anyone has ever experienced on Earth. So I hope you guys enjoyed this so far. Leave a like and comment down below. Stay tuned for part 10, and I'll see you guys later. Breeze.